I hate theater. Well, it's so disappointing, isn't it? Do you know what I do when I'm sitting in a darkened theater waiting for the show to begin? I pray. Dear God, please let it be a good show, and let it be short. Oh, Lord in heaven, please. 2 hours is fine, but 3 hours is too much. And to keep the actors out of the audience, I didn't pay good money to have the fourth wall come crashing down around my ears. I just want a story with a few good songs that'll take me away. I just want to be entertained. I mean, isn't that the point? Amen. You know, there was a time when people sat in darkened theaters and thought to themselves, what have George and Ira Gershwin got for us tonight? Or can Cole Porter pull it off again? Can you imagine? Now it's, please, Elton John, must we continue this charade? It used to be, sitting in a darkened theater, you knew that when the show began, you'd be taken into another world full of music and color and romance, and you thought to yourself, my God, when are they going to bring up the lights? Oh, how things have changed. Hello, how are we today? I'm feeling a little blue myself. You know, a little anxious for no particular reason. A little sad that I should be feeling anxious at this age. You know, a little self-conscious anxiety resulting in non-specific sadness, a state that I call blue. Anyways, whenever I'm feeling this way, blue, I like to listen to my music, so I was going through my box of records this morning. Yes, records. And I was about to put on the soundtrack recording of Meredith Willson's The Music Man. I had a craving for a young Ronnie Howard. But then I said to myself, no, let's have a treat. Let's disappear for a while into the decadent world of the 1920s when the champagne flowed while the caviar chilled and all the world was a party. Well, for the wealthy anyways. And so I was going about my records, and what did I find but my favorite show, Gable and Stein's The Drowsy Chaperone. Remember? Music by Julie Gable, lyrics by Sidney Stein. Anyways, it's a 2-record set, remastered from the original recording in 1928. It's the full show with the original cast, including Beatrice Stockwell as the chaperone. Isn't she elegant? And to think, this is a full 15 years before she became Dame Beatrice Stockwell. Can you believe it? Here, let me read you what it says on the back. It says, mix-ups, mayhem, and a gay wedding. Of course, the phrase gay wedding has a different meaning now, but back then it just meant fun. And that's just what this show is, fun, so would you? No, it's stupid. Would you indulge me? Would you let me play the record for you now? Yeah. I was hoping you would say yes. Good old vinyl. Alright, now let's visualize. Imagine, if you will, it's November 1928. You've just arrived at the doors of the Roscoe Theater in New York. It's very cold. Remember when it used to be cold in November? Not anymore. November's the new August now. It's global warming. We're all doomed. Anyways, it's very cold, and a heavy gray sleep is falling from the sky, but you don't care because you're going to see a Broadway show. Listen. Isn't this wonderful? Oh, it helps if you close your eyes. Overtures. Overtures are out of style now. I miss them. They're kind of like the show's way of welcoming you, you know? Hello, welcome. Your meal will be served shortly, but in the meantime, would you like an appetizer? Oh, and that's just what an overture is, a musical appetizer. A poo-poo platter of tunes, if you will. Something new. Sounds kind of rollicking, sort of like a dance tune. Maybe involving pirates. Don't worry, there are no pirates, I assure you. Alright, now here it comes, that special moment in the music, when it starts to build and you know that you're only show opening just for us. Miracle, madam.
My dress, my fancy dress. I don't know why I'm wearing it, I must confess. My dress, I love my dress. Would someone tell me why I put it on?
Yes, your dress, your fancy dress. 'Twas such a pleasure airing it, restitching and repairing it. God bless your dress, it's one fine dress, and I will tell you why you put it on. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime. Madam, you're the hostess and it's happy wedding time. Wedding bells will ding, wedding bells will dong. Wedding bells will ding-a-ling and we will ding along. Your dress, your fancy dress. We're very, very glad you put it on. Wedding guests have come, wedding guests are here, wedding guests are at the door and soon they will appear.
I'm Robert, the bridegroom. I'm here to marry Janet. That's Tara Felton's spouse, whom I love.
I'm George, that's George, his best man, George. I'm honored to be doing what a best man ought. Mrs. Tottenham, now you don't have to worry about a thing. I got this whole wedding planned out. The key is organization. See, each string represents a task yet to be completed. I have to pay the musicians, yell at the florist, book a minister. It's all I ain't gonna run like clockwork.
Oh, is there going to be a wedding?
I'm Delphi, goodness sir, I'm not my leading lady. I've got to stop this wedding or I'm not worth one.
I'm Kitty, just Kitty. I came with Mr. Felton. I'll be a leading lady if I get my shot.
We're pastry chefs. We're pastry chefs. We cross the lines with pastry chefs. No fakery. A bakery is what we get.
My name is Adambo. I am the king of romance, so I kiss a lot.
You are the king of romance, so you kiss a lot. Wedding bells will ring, wedding bells will chime, wedding bells to celebrate a happy wedding time. Someone hasn't come, someone isn't here. Where is Janet Bell and when will she appear?
for an evening's entertainment. As best I can. Don't worry, it won't be hard to follow. We begin with an introduction from our love-struck groom.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for coming. I tell you, I must be some lucky fellow. Who would have thought that I, Robert Martin, would be marrying a glamorous showgirl, that glamorous showgirl would be willing to give up a successful career for me, Robert Martin. Now, if it weren't for prohibition, I'd say let's raise a glass to Miss Janet Vandergraff, the most beautiful girl in the world.
Absolutely not!
Excuse me?
The groom must see the bride on the day of the wedding. It's bad luck.
I hope you heard that, because that's the plot, basically. Hang on for the ride.
Breakfast will be served in the arranging room.
Hey, breakfast, great dog.
Say, it's a bit early in the day to be drinking, isn't it?
I don't understand the question.
All right. Your only job is to keep Janet away from Robert. It's your only job.
Aye, I'm having time. Robert, who's my little monkey?
I love your little monkey.
So the bride and groom are whisked away, and we turn our attention to the B plot, which involves the producer.
Mr. Felsing!
Getting married and leaving show business.
Mr. Felsing!
Doesn't she know I have obligations?
Mr. Felsing, I can be a leading lady. You said it yourself. I'm useless in the chorus.
Kitty, it's for the last time. You ain't got what it takes.
But I've been taking lessons. Singing, acting, ballet.
Ballet?
Yeah! And I'm pretty good too. Last week, I auditioned for Swanee Lake.
A little annotation. Kitty and Feldzig were a couple in real life, Jack and Sadie Adler. Now, this is a familiar comic construct, a stupid woman and her long-suffering companion. Well, she appears stupid, but in the end she does something clever and makes everyone wonder whether it was all just an act. The irony here is that Sadie was actually quite stupid. Jack had to explain all the jokes to her, apparently, but still, she had a wonderful career on the stage. Back then, the theater was the only place where stupid people could make a decent living. This was before television, of course.
Kitty, not now.
A petite four, Mr. Felsing.
Not now.
Perhaps a nice buffet.
Boys, I'm not hungry.
Then maybe we can give you something else to chew on.
Yeah, something that ain't food.
What?
Your confusion is to be expected. Although we stand you before you in the guise of pastry chefs, we are also
And primarily,
employees of a, say, certain individual
A sudden individual?
a certain
who
individual
happens to be the single largest investor of Felsing's Follies, and he has brought us here today
as pastry
to
chefs.
explain his concerns about Miss Vandergraff's upcoming nuptials.
Specifically,
That if she gets married and leaves the show, then
there ain't no show.
Say, don't I know you?
No, you don't.
Have you ever spent any time in Toledo?
Have you ever spent any time in a coma?
No. But I do have a cousin in Seattle.
Kitty, boys, tell your boss there's not going to be a marriage. He has my word.
Ah, we'll take your word, all right.
But to go back on that word would be a recipe for disaster. I hope we make ourselves perfectly eclair.
One can only hope.
You best got to be kidding me.
Trifle much?
Don't start with me.
Boys, stop. Enough with the pastry chef routine.
Alas, we can ash.
Run around.
It's an entree to macaroon.
The gangsters were played by interchangeable vaudeville duo, the Tall brothers, John and Peter Tall. They were born Abram and Mendel Miloskevich, but were renamed at Ellis Island by a sarcastic immigration official. They were an early example of the typical Broadway gangster, full of wordplay and stylized movements. Not very intimidating, unless you find dancers intimidating, which I do, but for reasons that aren't appropriate to this situation.
We leave the matter in your hands, Mr. Felsing. Feel free to browse the dessert carousel.
Try the Toledo surprise. It's to die for.
Holy cats, Mr. Felton! They're gangsters!
Very contemplative. Now go powder your face. I've got to stop this wedding. But how? Lord in heaven, how?
I always thought that part was a little overplayed. So with the story well on its way, let's go to the group.